The arm muscles.
Biceps brachii. Action: flexes and supinates forearm. Origin: coracoid process of the scapula. Insertion: radial tuberosity. Innervation: musculocutaneous nerve. C5, C6.
Brachialis. Action: powerful flexor of forearm. Origin: distal half of anterior surface of humerus. Insertion: tuberosity of the ulna. Innervation: musculocutaneous nerve. C5, C6.
Triceps brachii. Action: extends forearm. Origin: posterolateral humerus. Insertion: olecranon process of the ulna. Innervation: radial nerve. C7, C8.
Anconius. Action: extends forearm. Origin: lateral epicondyle of the humerus. Insertion: lateral side of the olecranon process. Innervation: nerve to anconius from radial nerve.
Abductor pollicis longus. Action: abducts the thumb at the carpometacarpal joint. Origin: interosseous membrane. Insertion: radial side of the base of the first metacarpal. Innervation: radial nerve.
Brachioradialis. Action: flexes the elbow. Origin: upper 2/3 of the lateral supracondylar ridge of the humerus. Insertion: lateral side of the base of the styloid process of the radius. Innervation: radial nerve.
Extensor carpi radialis longus. Action: extends the wrist. Origin: lower 1/3 of lateral supracondylar ridge of humerus. Insertion: dorsum of the second metacarpal bone. Innervation: radial nerve.
Extensor carpi radialis brevis. Action: extends the wrist. Origin: common extensor tendon. Insertion: dorsum of the third metacarpal bone. Innervation: deep radial nerve.
Extensor carpi ulnaris. Action: extends the wrist. Origin: common extensor tendon. Insertion: medial side of the base of the fifth metacarpal. Innervation: deep radial nerve.
Extensor digiti minimi. Action: extends the metacarpophalangeal joint of the fifth digit. Origin: common extensor tendon. Insertion: extensor expansion of the fifth digit. Innervation: deep radial nerve.
Extensor digitorum. Action: extends the metacarpophalangeal joints of digits 2 through 5. Origin: common extensor tendon. Insertion: extensor expansion of digits 2 through 5. Innervation: deep radial nerve.
Extensor indicis. Action: extends the index finger at the metacarpophalangeal joint. Origin: interosseous membrane. Insertion: extensor expansion of second digit. Innervation: deep radial nerve.
Extensor pollicis brevis. Action: extends the thumb at the metacarpophalangeal joint. Origin: interosseous membrane. Insertion: base of proximal phalanx of the thumb. Innervation: deep radial nerve.
Extensor pollicis longus. Action: extends the thumb at the interphalangeal joint. Origin: interosseous membrane. Insertion: base of the distal phalanx of the thumb. Innervation: deep radial nerve.
Flexor carpi radialis. Action: flexes the wrist. Origin: common flexor tendon from medial epicondyle of humerus. Insertion: base of second and third metacarpals. Innervation: medial nerve.
Flexor carpi ulnaris. Action: flexes wrist. Origin: common flexor tendon and ulnar head. Insertion: pisiform, base of fifth metacarpal. Innervation: ulnar nerve.
Flexor digitorum profundus. Action: flexes the metacarpophalangeal joints. Origin: interosseous membrane, posterior border of the ulna. Insertion: base of the distal phalanx of digits 2 through 5. Innervation: ulnar nerve, ulnar artery, anterior interosseous artery.
Flexor digitorum superficialis. Action: flexes the metacarpophalangeal joints. Origin: common flexor tendon. Insertion: shafts of the middle phalanges of digits 2 through 5. Innervation: median nerve, ulnar artery.
Flexor pollicis longus. Action: flexes the metacarpophalangeal joints of the thumb. Origin: interosseous membrane, anterior surface of radius. Insertion: base of the distal phalanx of the thumb. Innervation: median nerve via anterior interosseous branch, anterior interosseous artery.
Pronator quadratus. Action: pronates the forearm. Origin: medial side of the anterior surface of the distal 1/4 of the ulna. Insertion: anterior surface of distal 1/4 of radius. Innervation: median nerve via anterior interosseous branch, anterior interosseous artery.
Palmaris longus. Action: flexes hand at wrist. Origin: medial epicondyle of humerus. Insertion: distal half of flexor retinaculum. Innervation: median nerve C7, C8. Ulnar artery.
Pronator teres. Action: pronates the forearm. Origin: common flexor tendon. Insertion: midpoint of the lateral side of the shaft of the radius. Innervation: median nerve, ulnar artery, and anterior ulnar recurrent artery.
Supinator. Action: supinates the forearm. Origin: lateral epicondyle of the humerus. Insertion: lateral side of proximal 1/3 of radius. Innervation: deep radial nerve, recurrent interosseous artery.
The end.